The second reason is pride. It's pride. A lot of people, even good Christians, rely too much and sometimes solely on their own spiritual or physical strength when dealing with issues and challenges. Many trust in their money, bank accounts, wealth. Many trust in their education. Many trust in their family connection or political connection and all the likes. They may not think they are proud. But once you do not rely on God, once you lean on your own understanding, on your own ability, on your own power, it is nothing but pride. And the Bible admonishes us, we have said this so many times, not to lean on our own understanding. That's Proverbs 3 verse 5. And so many examples like that in the Bible. With the above as background, I'm going to now identify three crucial, which is the sermon. Three crucial steps. That's the sermon today. Three crucial steps you need to take if you want to tap into the enormous supernatural power of God. How many steps? How many steps? How many? Where's my friend, Elder Thomas? Elder Peters? Elder Peters, how many should we say today? I know if it was you, we say 10. But me, I cut it down to 3. Am I in order? I'm in order. Thank you. So we're only going to go about 3. There's so many, but let's focus on these 3, based on what we have had so far. The first step, as you can rightly guess, note, is that you must acknowledge that there is power of God. You must do away with the foggy idea that the power of God is what? Is theoretical. And listen to me very carefully. In a cultural setting here in Nigeria, this is from where I come from, in the southwest, many people, so many people believe in the power of Satan, even Christians. They believe in the power of witchcraft, or banje, juju, or whatever, even Christians. But do not really genuinely believe in the power of what? In the power of God. Sad fact. They believe in witchcraft. When you talk of Ogun, they'll be shaking. Say, God, I can take it for granted. Indeed, they fear these occultic powers more than the power of God. Therefore, many will willingly, listen carefully, many will willingly swear on an oath with the Bible. Say, put your hand on the Bible, they put their hand on the Bible. Say nothing but the truth, only the truth. They say nothing but only the truth. The next moment they do what? They lie. They don't believe the power of God. They are not afraid of God. But call and say, come and swear. And you put some shigidi. Put some red oil on it. I say, come and swear on it. They say they won't do that. They believe in the power of God. That's what it means. I once had an experience. In my universities, I was the director of the center for a long time. And we had a very, they call it, a gyroscope, some very expensive equipment, extremely expensive equipment that we had in the Center for Energy Research. Well, by the way, the center is sending a delegation to come and see me tomorrow. I've been their director for, so they're coming. So that's why this story I can remember. The director is coming to visit me in Abuja. So one morning, we got to the office. They had stolen the gyroscope. Somebody has done what? Stolen the gyroscope. Gone. Millions of naira. At that time, probably about $250,000 or something. You can imagine what it is right now. What are we going to do? Where are they even going to sell it? It's a piece of very sophisticated scientific equipment. They can't sell it. I don't know where they're going to do it. So everybody came, gave suggestion. I locked myself up in my office and prayed, God, help us. some staunch members of my center who are Christian, they came to me, Oga, we can find this thing in 5 minutes. There is a man in the village. Baba Ebonogo, that man is hot. I said, we are reading the Bible. The man said, give us 5,000 naira. We go and tell the man will, all of them will confess. I said, I can't give 5,000 naira. I'm a pastor already. I can't do that. I said, okay, don't worry, we know you're a pastor. We are going to go to the man in the bush. Okay, these are Christians. They are talking about the power of evil, the power of Satan. So they went 1 week. Bakudaya. 20 years later, I'm here. Bakudaya. But underneath, what they are saying is that they believe in what? That power. They don't believe in the power of God. In practical sense, you will be more and more convinced about the power of God if you read your Bible. Is it complicated? It's not complicated. If you read your Bible and see the wonderful and the mighty things the Lord had done. The psalmist reminds us that we are to remember the wonders he had done, the miracles. Psalm 105 verse 5. Say, remember the wonders God has done and his miracles. When you read the Bible, you'll be more and more convinced about the power of God. Every miracle recorded for us in the Bible should give you encouragement that the power of God is more than enough for your need. Surely, the more you read and meditate on the Bible, the more you'll be granted to believe in the reality of the power of God. In addition, when you look at your own life, find time to look at your own life and reflect. It will not be obvious to you initially, but reflect on it. You will see what? You will see the manifestation of the what? Of the power of God. So many times, my brother, God has saved you from unknown enemies. So many times, my sister, you have been saved from unknown dangers. That's the power of God. So many times, many unknown dangers have been blown away. You enjoy grace. Things just happen like that. Things just happen like that. It is the manifestation of the power of God. I've told people this story and I will say it again. I know about the power of God. I know about what? The power of God. A long time ago, long time ago, young academic, I was dashing all over the place. And I was invited to a conference at Harvard University. Harvard University in Cambridge, famous Harvard University. And before then, I was also invited in another conference in California. I was very popular, the climate change scenario, traveling all over the place. This woman stood by me. I was traveling. I wasn't around. So I got to this conference, and somebody came from the U.S. Department of State. When I got to the conference, I slept. You can't cheat nature. I did what? I slept. Because the time differences, time zones, and all these things. I remember the man named Carl Bernstein. Big man in America, we were about 20. I was the only African there. And then the man started talking about money. He said the American government has some $5 million that they want to spend on developing countries. I woke up. Is that not the power of God? So you think it's not the power of God? Or the $5 million they wanted to spend, they gave me $1 million. They gave me, it's never been said in any university, they gave me $1 million as research grant. Well, I was sleeping before the man talked. He said, we have $5 million. My eyes wide open. The power of God. The second step, I want you to know That after you realize that the power of God is on your own limited ability, don't rely on it. Always say, God, yes, God has given you an ability, but say, God, enhance my ability. It is a wrong bargain. It's a very poor bargain when you do what? When you rely on your own ability. You must trust God absolutely. By handing over all your abilities and weaknesses to Him. Don't get me wrong. God doesn't say you should have ability and put it under the bed. You must use ability, but you must hand it over to God. The power of God is made perfect in your what? In your weaknesses. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9. But I'm okay. 2 Corinthians, not 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians 12 9. Okay, you don't want to look at 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9.
But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you.
The grace of God is sufficient to you. What happened? For the power, hand it over to God. God, this challenge is beyond me. You say, God, I hand it over to you. I hand it over to you. Oh, this my something. I know it so much. This challenge, I can handle it. Hand over your what? Ability to who? To God. I say, God, use your power. In my weaknesses, or some people abound. Again, that's why you need to read the Bible. About those who trust in the power of God, rather than trust in their strength, but they trust in the what? Power of God. They have been victorious. Abi? He wasn't trusting his what? In his experience, battle experience. He cannot be compared with what? With Goliath. He didn't put on all this armor that Goliath. But he says, I depend on the power of the living God. And of course, he had a what? An outstanding victory. Zerubbabel, that we read this morning, faced the daunting task. The people have been sent on exile. They're now coming back. Ragtag. After 70 years, God sent a message to him. He reminded him not to trust in his might nor power, but rather that the work will be accomplished by the Spirit of God. That is, by the power of God. The temple was built. Zechariah 4 verse 6. And he said to me, this is the word of the Lord to Zerubbabel. Not by what? Not by might. Not by what? Not by power. But by what? By my Spirit. Says what? God, Lord Almighty. He has all the power. God, Lord Almighty. Jehoshaphat, king of Judah and his people, they came under attack from the Moabites and the Ammonites with some Meunites. Yes. Then he said, listen,
King Jehoshaphat.
Chicken and was playing that rock so that he can have fun extraordinary. So push, don't forget what I said, 3-year-old. In frustration, the father was looking at what? Was looking at him. And therefore the father went close to his tearful son and said, son, why don't you use all your strength? No boy looked at his father. But Daddy did use all my what? All my strength. I couldn't get it done. Then the father said, no, you didn't use all your strength because you did not ask me. I'm also your what? Your strength. Children of God, we are like that little boy. The little boy in the story need not fail if he relied on the power of his what?